Talk about the table that we just played, Xena Warrior Princess Pinball. I'll talk about some of the things that I experienced during my quite a few attempts that I played. We'll go over the leaderboard scores, and then we'll go into the new table for this week. So I wrote down quite a few things about this week's challenge. Firstly, I thought the table was pretty enjoyable for the most part. It had enough kind of modes and little things going for it that kept each attempt fun. As you know, I have unlimited attempts for these 5-minute challenges because I think limiting attempts kind of makes it too hard. I mean, and then it just, you use up your, 10 attempts too fast, and before you know it, it's over. So, and plus, I think the 5-minute alone, having 5 minutes is already challenging enough when you're limited in that sense. So what I want to first talk about is, I think the skill shot on this table is difficult but fun. It awards 500,000 points if you can get it, but I did learn after quite a few attempts that if you wait until the chakram is on the far left and then you plunge the ball, basically it's about timing, which a lot of skill shots are, the ball will just go through the chakram as a result of that. So just by waiting until it's on the left of the screen, by the time you hit the ball, it will go through for that 500,000. Now on a table like this, 500,000 may or may not seem like a lot, but I think it was a lot, so I practiced it, and I think it did pay off somewhat. But it's not a deal breaker by any means. There were some things that I thought were kind of annoying and kind of funny in a way. There was a mode, I think it was called the Problematic Patron, and the Problematic Patron was like making this weird noise where it sounded like I was playing a Mario game. Like the way he was like laughing or something, it sounded like it was straight up Mario. So I just wanted to mention that. Another thing that I think was pretty cool, and I think is a nice little mechanic on this table, is the extra mini flipper you have near the pop bumpers. That mini flipper is useful because it can hit into the bumpers and then it can hit into the scoop there. And that scoop was pretty, from what I think it was called the Get to the Gods. And so the Get to the Gods seemed like it gave some interesting and helpful rewards, but it was a hard shot that I couldn't really make as much. But I think that if you could make the Gift of the Gods scoop, it did seem helpful from my time playing. But as I also played this table, I also felt like maybe an extra flipper could be useful on a table like this. I was thinking that there could be an extra flipper on the upper left to help with shots in that area, or for general flow. It just made me think about extra flippers. Actually, the extra flipper they have in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great example of it, because it just works so well the way they have it set up. So you kind of have to design tables around an extra flipper if you're going to have one, right? And I think this table, I wonder if it could have been a little better with it. So let's see here. Another thing that I noticed was that the ball rails on this table were really long and kind of took away a lot of time. The ball rails, there's two of them that after you hit the infinity loop, they have to come down one of the two rails, and the two rails are like really long and winding, and so they take away a lot of precious seconds going down these rails. So it seems like hitting them was not a good idea. Avoiding them at all costs was probably the best. And I was under the impression that there was like a drop off, like an early drop off like a hole basically where the ball could drop down from the infinity loop early, but it seems like it doesn't do that. After the infinity loop, it drops straight into the rails. So that's what I want to mention there. I think this table has a lot of cool props, a lot of cool pop-up figures and toys that you have to hit. So like there's like these pop-up figures in the left scoop where the patron is, and then I got to a mode, I don't forget what it was called, but it was like the Caesars mode with a bunch of pop-ups of these soldiers were pretty cool. So it seems like that's one of the things that they do a lot on this table, is they make use of these pop-up figurines and toys, which I like. I like that. Nothing too fancy. And again, about the chalk room, I think it's a very satisfying mechanic, because the chalk room would also pop up on the playfield, not just during the skill shot, but during different modes, and hitting the ball, getting the ball through the chalk room was just so satisfying to me. And I thought about mechanics that I find satisfying in pinball, and that seems like a really cool one to do. It's almost like playing basketball. Like a chalk room is like a moving hoop without a net, but just so cool like that. So I think that would have been cool, maybe even in a basketball type game, as a mechanic. Instead of having like a basketball hoop, you can have a chalk room, which is like a basketball rim. So I just like that. And let me say here, another thing I wanted to mention that I wrote down in my notes was, I wonder if do you guys read the rules before you play in these tournament challenges, or do you just kind of go with the flow? Because I'm pretty sure if you read the rules that they help, but I don't know if they're in a 5-minute challenge, if they're going to be too helpful, because you can read about the rules, you can know how a lot of the table works, but you're really, with a 5-minute challenge, it's pretty much, it's changing up how you have to attack the pinball table, right? Because these rules are usually, I think, they're meant for a classic mode. So I wrote that down. I myself don't read them, because I like to find that out myself as I go along. But I'm curious to know if you guys do read the rules before you play. Just about in general, not just about this tournament, but do you enjoy reading the rules of tables, or do you think it takes away from the casualness of it? And I say that because this is, even though this is, talk about the casualness, but this is a tournament mode, right? So it is, quote, competitive. Let's see here. And so, like I said before, this table has a lot of interesting things that keep it refreshing for 5 minutes. Different modes, different callouts. Different modes got me to different, scoring options in the game, which is really cool. It didn't seem like there was any one mode that could put you over the top looking at the scores, but definitely multi-ball was one of them for me, that got me to the top 10. Specifically, it was the reunited multi-ball, I think they called it. I got a lot of points on that, but there was something awkward about it. Starting it was very awkward. I think you had to press like the plunger key or something to get the balls out of wherever they were kept. So I did write down that this table does seem mode dependent. It seems like your score depends on the mode that you are able to unlock, whether it's a multi-ball or some kind of main mode. So yeah, let's talk about the scores now. Great turnout we had, 35 people. This was an open tournament. So we have a lot more people because there is no password. But I want to say congratulations to our first place winner, Ref Jeff, with 30 million points. Ref Jeff, I think early in the week, let me know that he was at the top. So I'm pretty sure he was at the top of the leaderboard for a very long time. I think he mentioned that there was he got 3 times playfield scoring, and that really put him on the top. So congratulations to Ref Jeff for that first place score, 30 million. Second place we have UTD 4000 with 29 million. Very close, 1 million apart. UTD has been in our tournaments for a long time as well, and so I want to say congratulations to UTD 4000 for that second place. I think it's the first time I've seen him this high on the leaderboard. So really cool there. We have third place Bad Jack Daniels with 27 million. Very close scores. So congratulations to BJD, Bad Jack Daniels, with that third place score. Fourth place, not far from third, we have Balchi 99 with 26 million, 1 million off from Bad Jack. Look how close these are, though. Insane how close these are. These top 4. Right? So now I'm going down the list of people that I'm familiar with. We have 7th place Total Solo with 20 million points. I recognize Total Solo's name from other tournaments before. I came in 10th with 18 million. I'm kind of proud of this score because I was sitting at the bottom for a while, but then I started playing the game. It was very addicting. I mean, I would play like 3 or 4 times in a row, and then I'd get tired, but I'd find myself coming back, and I'm happy with 10th place, considering we had 35 people in this tournament. We have 14th place Tommy5577 with 15 million. Thank you to Tommy for participating in these tournaments as well. Underneath him, we have PFX fan, Pinball FX fan with 15 million points. Really close to Tommy's score. As you see there, look how close these 3 scores are. 15 million. In 16th place, we have Geronimo in game with 13 million points. Really great to see Geronimo in game as well. He's been in our tournaments now for a couple, actually. And nice to have him and see a familiar name. So congratulations to you, Geronimo, in game for that 16th place. Looking down here, scrolling. Devonicals, I think I've seen a lot. So Devonicals came in 24th place with 9 million points. Underneath Devonicals, we have Wombat in a Hat. Look at that fish. I love that little fish avatar there. So Wombat in a Hat with 8 million points in 25th place. Underneath Wombat, we have Fabled Scarab 79 with 8 million points as well. Only separated by a couple 100,000 here. Scrolling down. I think that is all the names that I am familiar with. So if I did not go over your name, my apologies. I only read off the names that I'm familiar with throughout the private tournaments, because it would take a long time to do them all. But hopefully I got all of you guys, and thank you once again for playing in these weekly 5-minute challenges. Now this week we're going to be changing it up. We're going to be doing a Pinball M challenge on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre table. I think a lot of people are excited about that, and I am too. I know I've done a couple of videos for it already, but I think I just got to get it out of my system. So follow me there. So this week I thought we'd do a 5-minute challenge on the new table on Pinball M, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Something different, and we haven't had a challenge on Pinball in a while. So if you go here on the tournaments, you'll see my tournament here, which is 1A8A, and then the password, it's going to be 6006. I'll put that in the description. Hopefully there's no issues with password, but let's go here. It's basically a 5-minute challenge on the new table here. So let's go. So something I wanted to mention, I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not actually based on any real events, but the characters like Leatherface are loosely based on actual murderers like Ed inspired. Ed Gein was himself inspired characters like Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. So I found that to be very interesting because some people may get caught up when they hear that it's based on a true story and think that everything in the movie is real, was based on fact, but a lot of it is largely fiction. So keep that in mind. I myself did not realize that until I Googled. But still very, very horrific kind of story, even if it's a work of fiction, And like I was saying, it's still loosely based on the elements of the characters, still loosely based on things that have actually occurred, like the story of Ed Gein. And I think there were other things, crimes in Texas that inspired this movie as well. But it just goes to show that, take everything that you, especially in today's day and age, with a bit of, grain of salt. But also, thank you everyone who was talking to me about these films and this franchise. I think a lot of you were saying the 1974 version and the 2003 version of the film are the best. So I'll probably end up watching the original first. And I'll probably do a pinball in a movie at some point. But I figured this would be a great weekly challenge table because a lot of you were talking about it. And like I say, we haven't done a Pinball M tournament in a long time. So a nice change of pace. But I love this third flipper, this extra flipper here. We got a multi-ball. And also, the characters like Leatherface have been in, now in video games. I think, isn't he in Mortal Kombat? So the franchise goes far beyond the movies, I believe. Video games, maybe even music, I'm not sure. But I just know that Leatherface is a playable character in Mortal Kombat. I don't know if it's an actual character or is it like a skin.
Remember me now? I'm the one who got away, and I'm here to make sure you don't. Motherfucker.
But yeah, the tournament, I will have the password and the tournament ID in the description below so you can find it. There should be no problems. But if you do, let me know. Well, guys, I will keep it there for now. Thank you, as always, for joining in these tournaments. Hope you have fun with this week's tournament, 5-minute challenge on TCM, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later, and good luck.